The Alex Palou Chip Ganassi Racing saga has continued in a new direction that we all expected in a lawsuit. Today, Chip Ganassi Racing has sued its current driver, 2021 IndyCar champion Alex Palou. Of course, this is stemming from that whole debacle or mess that you could say a few weeks ago when Alex announced that he would be leaving CGR to go to McLaren Racing in 2023, and then Chip Ganassi announced that he was still under contract with Palou until 2023. So according to court documents, Ganassi Racing filed a civil lawsuit in the Marion County Superior Court against its driver Alex Palou this week. Palou is named the defendant in this civil suit along with Alpha Racing, which documents filed on Ganassi's behalf list as Palou's racing entity. Now, whether this suit would mean that Palou would be taking out of the ride as a possibility, CGR clarified, saying that, quote, Alex Palou is still under contract with Chip Ganassi Racing through the end of the 2023 season. He is a valued member of our team, and we will continue to support him in chasing wins, podiums, and IndyCar championships. As a result of a competing racing team improperly attempting to contract with him, notwithstanding the precise terms of our contract, we are proceeding with the legal process pursuant to the contract. Now, Chip Ganassi filed its motion to seal its civil complaint as well as 4 supporting exhibits from public access, stating they contain, quote, confidential business information regarding Palou's IndyCar deal with the team, as well as correspondence between the two parties. Now, in this lawsuit, Ganassi provided 3 different types of evidence, all stemming from that whole debacle back in early July. First off, they showed off Alex Palou's tweet thread discussing that how he told the team that he was leaving and that he did not approve the press release or his quote saying that he never said those things. Also for evidence, Chip Ganassi showed McLaren's tweet announcing Palou signing that same day, as well as McLaren's press release detailing the news. Now, Ganassi has filed a prompt hearing on the motion of a preliminary injunction that is scheduled to be held, I think, in late August. This is very interesting because when this is scheduled to be heard by the end of August, Palou is still going to be contracted by Chip Ganassi, apparently, because he still has to race in the season finale at Laguna Seca on September 11th. So, again, this whole thing, this whole saga is extremely unprecedented because I don't think we have ever seen in racing, maybe even in sports, where a driver or, a part of the team is contracted by a team that's being sued by them. I don't think we've ever seen that. I mean, we have heard of drivers suing former teams. We've seen that before. That's nothing new. But for a team to sue a current driver, that I think is new. I will say, though, this is probably the best news IndyCar has ever had in terms of relevancy. I mean, all you hear is about IndyCar now and this whole Palou Chip Ganassi saga. And it even occurred on the racetrack at Iowa. Now, Palou has said that the team has taken away engineering data from the team, at least from home. If he wants to access that data, he has to go to the racetrack. Now, again, it'd be understandable if he was leaving at the end of this year, but the fact that he's apparently still contracted for 2023 even, he's going to be here for another full season, take away all this data, is a bit of shade being thrown by CGR. It's like, yeah, you're still going to be contracted, but we're going to give you a bigger hurdle than your teammates. Now, the thing is that I'm very curious on is how is this suit going to be settled? How is this going to end? I mean, right now, all we know is that, okay, we know there's going to be a lawsuit coming. What's going to happen when it's all over? Is it Ganassi going to pull Palou out of the ride? Because again, he is currently, according to CGR, contracted till 2023, meaning apparently he will be in the car even next year in the 10 car for Chip Ganassi Racing. If this suit is settled, what's going to happen after that? Is Chip going to pull Palou out and make him sit for a year? Or if McLaren really wants him, if they really want Palou, they're going to have to buy him out? Or what is going to happen when this suit gets settled? I think that is the part that everyone's going to be keeping an eye out for, is that, okay, we know what's happening right now is going to be a huge distraction, not only for Palou, but for CGR, the team itself. I mean, even if Scott Dixon and Jimmy Johnson, they're kind of like not pushing him off to the side, but kind of just distancing themselves from the situation. So it has created some tension with the team, and obviously that's going to, like I said, put a huge distraction in terms of how they compete on the racetrack. Now, Alex Palou has stated that everything that's been happening between him and Chip Ganassi, this whole mess of a situation, and according to him and his management team, that they're in the right, that they didn't do anything wrong. Chip Ganassi obviously feels a different way about this. I really have no idea what the hell is going on even. It's weird. We have a lot of information, but at the same time, there's still a lot of things that are still murky. That's still not very clear on what exactly are the terms of the contract. And we are going to get that as we get closer and closer. You know, we learn more about what the suit is about. We learn more details about between the two parties. We're going to know exactly what is in terms of the contract and who is the right and who is in the wrong. All I'm saying is this. If Alex Palou is in the wrong in this one, I mean, this could take him out of maybe two series teams. I mean, you're going to get taken out of Chip Ganassi. You've already burnt that bridge, basically. But what's going to happen with McLaren? Depending on how this suit goes, McLaren, could they maybe even pull out of a ride? Pull out of a chance of even dealing with Palou? They already got Alexander Rossi that's scheduled to join McLaren Racing next season. Felix Rosenqvist, depending on how he does in 2022, you know, could maybe sway Zach Brown to consider keeping him for next season. I mean, right now there's so many things, so many variables, and a lot of them, not everyone, but a lot of them don't look good for Palou. Chip right now has no reason to honor the current contract that he has with Alex, because that is going to help him in court. But when it's all settled, when it's all said and done, he can do whatever he wants with Palou. He could really, if he has a real bone to pick with them, he could really force Palou to sit out for a year. Yeah, he may pay him, but you're getting paid to sit. You can't race, you can't do nothing. Which again, it's nice that you're going to get paid for doing nothing, but then again, you're not be able to race. You can't do anything. You just have to sit there and wait for a full year, which I could definitely see Chip Ganassi doing as a form of payback, as a shot to Alex for what he caused with that tweet that he put out in early July. But again, on one side, this is great press for IndyCar in a way, because a lot of people are going to be talking about this, especially when we head to Indy for the road course for that NASCAR IndyCar doubleheader. I'm not expecting Palou or Chip to speak on the situation. Chip has been very silent about it. Usually the only thing that you hear from Chip Ganassi Racing is the team and press releases. You haven't heard anything from Chip himself. Alex, I'm pretty sure, will also be very silent about this situation, because now that's in court, you leave it to the lawyers, because anything you say and do could be used against you. So I'm not expecting the two parties to speak on this subject to the public. Again, I think they're going to let this handle it with their lawyers in court. All I can say is this whole saga between the two is better drama than what Drive to Survive could ever make. Again, great press for IndyCar in a way, because it's going to get a lot of people talking heading into Indy. But I'm very curious to see what Alex Palou's career is going to look like when this lawsuit is settled around September or around late August. Very curious to see what Palou's career is going to look like, because it can go a lot of different directions, and a lot of them doesn't look good. McLaren could be forced into this. Again, Ganassi has provided evidence about McLaren in this lawsuit. Now, that doesn't mean directly that McLaren is going to have some type of penalty or some type of punishment, but again, with McLaren now in this suit, they're technically a part of it. They're being used as evidence for Ganassi. I won't be surprised if maybe McLaren may just not want to deal with Palou anymore after this whole suit. It's going to be very interesting these next few weeks, and there's a lot of eyes going to be on Alex Palou to see how this plays out. But yeah, I'm very interested to see what's going to happen next. IndyCar's got a lot of momentum on the side. Got a lot of press for IndyCar right now. After a great weekend in Iowa, big crowd on hand. And now with this one coming into Indianapolis, IndyCar's got a lot of press on their plate. In other news, Oracle Red Bull Racing actually make that Porsche Oracle Red Bull Racing. Yes, that's right. There have been rumors and reports going around that Porsche would be joining Formula One and have been in heavy talks with Red Bull. And although it hasn't been confirmed, there has been no announcement as of yet. Documents have revealed for a potential announcement next month that Porsche is planning to buy 50% of Red Bull's Formula One team. Now, the document reveals that Porsche notified the Council de la Concurrence, I'm saying that for a fact, in Morocco on July 8th that said that this will be a 10-year partnership between Porsche and Red Bull, and that a formal announcement is scheduled to take place on August 4th. Now, so far the document only mentioned a 50% buy-in on Red Bull's technology, but it is well understood that this partnership will extend to even other separate F1 businesses as well. And by expanding to other F1 businesses, I'm also talking about AlphaTauri. We know AlphaTauri is basically Red Bull's developmental team, I guess you could say, kind of like that, using as a way to maybe promote AlphaTauri drivers to become Red Bull drivers. Max Verstappen was part of that program, as well as Daniel Kvyat and Pierre Gasly for a couple seasons. So it looks like in all likelihood, it doesn't say that when this partnership will begin, but it will be a 10-year partnership plan, and it will include Red Bull driving in Porsche engines as well as AlphaTauri. Again, like I mentioned, no announcement on when they will officially join Red Bull, but it will be more than 60 years since the last time Porsche was in Formula One. You have to go all the way back to 1964. When Porsche competed in Formula One from 1957 to 1964, they only won one race. Their only victory was in the 1962 French Grand Prix, driven by an American, the late great Dan Gurney. So yeah, Porsche's history in F1 is very small, but still having a huge company like Porsche joining Formula One shows once again another example of F1's tremendous wave of momentum, not only in America, but a resurgence across the world. Obviously, with help from Netflix's Drive to Survive and their social media, they have completely reimagined F1 for the better. Now remember, Porsche is part of the Volkswagen group. Volkswagen has another car company that wants to join F1, and that is Audi. They've also been given the green light to join F1 earlier this year, but they're not in advanced talks with the team as Porsche was with Red Bull. But right now, Audi is still negotiating talks with Sauber to potentially have, when the deal is done, if a deal were to be reached, that Audi would take over 75% of Sauber's team shares. But that is awesome to see. Great news for Red Bull and for Porsche coming back to Formula One, and Audi joining F1 with Sauber potentially. But yeah, not so good news for Palou and Chip Ganassi Racing. But that's it for this episode. I think this is the first non-NASCAR video I've done in a long time. But thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for the support on the channel as of late. What are your thoughts on any of the two stories that I talked about in the comment section down below? Until next time, my name is Jet from MDK. Thanks for watching.